Hey folks, today we are out here on a very heavily pressured lake, and we've been asked to do a research video on how to fish these very heavily fished urban lakes. And what happened is they're right in the middle of a metropolis, so it's fished very heavily. We're actually going to be pursuing fish today in inflatable with electric motor. Most of these metropolis lakes no longer allow outboard motors, and you have to fish them with just all electric motors. And for the bait of choice today, we're going to be using is straight from Gary Yamamoto. It's going to be the Yamamoto Senko, the cut tail. It's 5-inch. It's been rigged with an offset shank hook. And we're going to go out there today and see what we could get by slowly finessing through this heavily fished lake. And of course, the line of choice will be 6-pound fluorocarbon. This lake is very heavily fished, so anything to give you the extra advantage. And let's see what we get today. Well, folks, we are traveling the lake. We are actually gonna motor. We're gonna motor right over to Cove. And which one? Remember, is when you're fishing these heavily fished metropolitan lakes, you really want to get away from the crowd. That's gonna be the key point towards catching these finicky bass. And we're gonna do our best and see if we can get away from the crowd. And we're gonna get toward that cove where there's very little fishing pressure. All right, we'll. Fish on! And it's a smallie. Oh, that's hefty. Oh, and she's fighting. She's going underneath the raft. Let's see if we can get better view. Oh, that's a big fish. That's a big fish we have on, folks. Easily 5-pound. This is what you gotta do when you're fishing. Very clear water environment. Not just that too. You also gotta make sure that you're presenting the bait very subtle. Oh, God, let's see if we can get him in. We have very light line, folks. Oh, he's a huge smallie, folks. It's huge smallmouth. Oh. Let's get him up for the camera. Right here, folks. He's a big mama. Super chunky. Right here off the Yamamoto split tail. I'm telling you, folks, in heavily pressured water like this, you just gotta present the bait naturally. Finesse fish, and you'll get fish like this. If you power fish, well, let's get this guy back in the water. Let's get him back in the water. So it's always a good idea to let's get him up close to the camera before I start talking. Oh, easily top 5-pound. Oh, beautiful smallmouth. Off he goes. All right, folks. That was a beautiful smallmouth, as you can see. In slow, clear water like this, what you want to do is you want to slowly present your bait. A lot of people come out here, they'll powerhouse a bait. And what happens is when you do that, these fish are real spook. They've seen hundreds of lures out here. They've seen everything you think of, you could possibly think of. And the only real effective way to fish them in these metropolitan lakes are you really have to slow down. That's going to be the key. Let's see if we get more fish like that one. All right, folks, we have another fish on. Oh, we have another fish on right here. Oh man, it's another beautiful smallmouth. It's huge. Easily 5 pound again. Oh, let's bring her up. It's a beautiful fish. Oh God, she's crawling into the weed. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. She is just gorgeous. Oh, there we have it, folks. Another 4 pounder. Oh man. Let's get her in the boat. Let's get her in the boat. Right there, folks. Easily 4 pound. Let's get her back in the water. Folks, we have another fish on. It's beautiful. It's another smallie. Oh, he's a quite a. Oh, another one, another big one, folks. Easily 4 pound. Oh, he's a fighter. Oh. Oh God, that's a good one. Oh man. On these Metropolitan, you really have to finesse them, folks. Only way you're ever gonna be able to get them. Let's see. He's running down this bluff. Let's get him on the boat. Let's get him on the boat. Oh, he's still got quite a lot of fight left in him. Right there, folks. Right there. Beautiful fish. Wow. Oh, beautiful fish. Oh, he's been hooked in the tongue, but we're gonna get him free. Oh, see, folks, that's what I'm talking about. When you're fishing these heavily fished lakes, you really got to slow down. It's the only way to produce in these heavily fished lakes. Let's let this guy go, so that way he'll make lots of babies. Hopefully they'll grow as big as he does. Alright, folks, and off he goes. Let's see if we get another one guy. Alright, folks, that concludes today's episode of Bonsai Fish. As I've shown you today, in a very heavily fished lake system like this, a finesse, small, steady baits, very subtle movement, fished very slowly, will provoke a lot of bigger strikes from the bigger fish. A lot of the time when the fish are shut down and they're lockjaw, they won't bite any bait, and you're running and you're ripping bait, and they're not even biting any of the lures you're presenting them. Finessing is the way to catch them As you can see, we caught about 15 pounds worth of fish today, just slowly presenting the bait in this lake system. This lake system is fished every day, but the bass in here, I've virtually seen every kind of lures thrown at them. They've seen every live bait possible, and we still managed 3 hefty smallmouth bass in the mid-afternoon like this. So if you like this episode, guys, until next time, please subscribe.